I need to have my...
You arrived.
I've arrived. Disney's Animal Kingdom. Hello.
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Take care, okay?
Thank you. No keys. Can't get it to make sure it's active.
They did it yesterday.
Sometimes they just don't care. They say, okay.
Have a nice day.
I'm so excited. Is it gonna be awesome?
Almost makes you want to spend 3 more hours watching it.
Almost.
But keep in mind, I saw the movie theater 3 times.
Stay seated until we come to a complete stop. When you do exit, please exit to the driver's right only. And also watch your step, lower your head. Now folks, where we're going to drop you off is where you want to be later on this evening to pick up your any tram, which will take you out to Peacock Row 7 or Row 8. For those folks waiting to board this tram, please remain behind that yellow line and let these guests exit this tram before they...
It's my first time at Pandora, guys. I'm excited. KK, get caught. I was been waiting on the bag checker.
We're going to have 18 pockets I got to go through.
Right.
Nobody there, and then at the last second.
Don't avoid eye contact, KK. Avoid eye contact. There you go. Walk with purpose. They'll never stop
I
you.
didn't have that problem here.
Vamonos.
The right was the annual pass holder yesterday, but I don't know if it will be today or if it even matters.
Let's go. All right, Jumbo, everyone, Jumbo, folks. My name is Stacy, and I'm going to be your safari guide for the next 2 weeks. But we're going to have so much fun, it's going to feel like it's only 20 minutes. Wow, is right. Now, folks, I would like to first ask that everyone please remain completely seated during the entire safari. Now, that does include any children or babies if on board. Now, little ones are more than welcome to be either seated on a lap or in a seat, but please do not put...
Oh.
But please, hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No.
Oh no, where'd I go? Test. Aha, there I am. Sorry about that, folks. Now, please do not put...
Oh no.
Shortage.
Hello, there we go. All right, now please do not play past the toddler, folks, and please do not lift your children into the air. That does not count as being fully seated. Now, folks, make sure to keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times and hang on to any loose articles, any hats, sunglasses, cell phones, cameras, anything like that. I am only stopping for animals today, folks. I will not be stopping for anything or anyone that could fall from the truck. Now, if you look straight above you, you will see your animal spotting guide. That's going to help you identify some of the creatures we're going to see today. Now, our first stop is going to be the Little Ituri Forest, and if you take a look out here to your right-hand side, folks, you will see a beautiful okapi up on the hill. Now, take a look at those stripes, folks. Now, the okapi have these very interesting stripes all over their legs, which do look a little zebra-ish. However, the okapi is actually the closest living relative to none other than the giraffe. Now, I know they don't look a whole lot like giraffes, folks. They are distant cousins, after all. But they do have a very similar facial structure to a giraffe, as well as the same very long tongue, which can reach up to 12 inches in length. Now, that does come in handy when trying to reach the higher leaves up on the trees, especially since the okapi don't have the same long-necked advantage. Coming up here to your left-hand side, folks, you will see a beautiful black rhino. Now, unfortunately, folks, there are less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world, including captivity. They are heavily poached for that beautiful horn on their head, which is believed to have medicinal value. However, folks, that horn is made up of the same keratin we have in our own hair and fingernails, so please pass that along. Oh, now these creatures up here to your right-hand side, folks, those are the greater kudu. Now, the greater kudu are one of the tallest of the antelope species, reaching up to about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. So they do get very, very big. And if you take a look straight down to your left-hand side, there's some bongos hiding in the bushes. They're a little hard to see. Now, the bongos are, please stay seated, folks. Now, the bongos are considered to be the ghosts of the forest because they are very rarely seen and they're very quiet when maneuvering through the brush. Now, folks, both the male and female bongos do have horns, which do make them a little hard to tell apart. If you take a look up ahead, you'll see another one up here by the creek. Isn't she just beautiful? Now, folks, if you do ever spot a bongo that doesn't quite have its horns just yet, that one is still just a baby. It will take them a few years to fully grow in. Those crocodiles shouldn't be able to get to us. Now, if you take a look down here to your right-hand side, please stay seated, everyone. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Thank you, folks. Please stay seated. Don't let your children stand up, and kids, don't let your parents stand up. Now, folks, hippos can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. Please don't try that at home, folks. So finally, before the end of the week, we are managing to enter the savannah. But first, take a look at this beautiful tree up here to the right-hand side, folks. This is a baobab tree. Now, folks, the baobab tree is nicknamed the upside-down tree, for if you take a look, it does look a little bit like someone uprooted a tree and flipped it right over. Now, folks, the baobab tree is also called the tree of life because of its ability to retain water and its massive trunk. To help it do that, folks, that tree only has leaves for 3 months out of the year, but it must be doing something right, folks, as the baobab tree can live to be several thousand years old. Now, folks, the African wild dogs are also called painted dogs because of their beautiful fur coat. It does look like someone just splattered them with paint. Now, folks, just like many other canine creatures, the African wild dogs do have an alpha male. However, they also have an alpha female, and together both alphas are in charge of running the pack. Aren't they just beautiful? Now, folks, the Ankole cattle's horns, although they're very, very big, they're not too heavy. They're actually hollow on the inside. They're made up of a very light honeycomb structure that will circulate blood through their horns, keeping them cool on a hot day. It's kind of like having a built-in air conditioner. So the bigger the horns you see on the Ankole cattle, the cooler they can be. Now, these teeny tiny antelope creatures down here, folks, these are the springbok. Now, the springbok get their name from their ability to spring up to 9 feet in the air and up to 13 feet across. And although they're all very little, folks, those are all full-grown adult springbok. They generally don't get bigger than about 1.5 feet tall, so they stay very little. If you take a look out here to the left-hand side, you will see some beautiful giraffes. Yeah, you will see 2 much smaller giraffes back there. They're about toddler age, so just a little bit older than babies now, but they're still very small in comparison to the grown-ups. Now, a giraffe, when it's born, is already 6 feet tall, while a full-grown adult male giraffe can reach about 20 feet tall. And when you see a group of giraffes together like this, folks, it is not referred to as a herd like many other animals. It is referred to as a tower. Oh, take a look, folks. Aren't they just beautiful? See if you can spot the baby elephant just through the legs. It's a little hard to see because the other elephants are kind of blocking her a little bit. There she is, folks. Now, she is about 7 months old. And although she is much smaller than the grown-up elephants, folks, she is already almost 600 pounds. And she's about 3.5 feet tall. So she's not exactly a lap baby, folks, as much as we would like her to be. Now, this large rock formation is called a kopie. That is kopie with a J, folks. Now, sometimes you can spot animals like lions hanging out on the kopie. However, lions are nocturnal creatures, which does mean that they sleep during the day. They do sleep for between 16 and 22 hours a day, folks. Sounds like a beautiful way to spend a Saturday.
Ostriches over there.
Now, if you take a look out there to your right-hand side, folks, those smaller creatures out there, those are the bontebok, and you will also see some ostrich back there. Now, folks, the ostrich is the largest of the bird family, and they're very fast, folks. So, although they are flightless, they can run up to 35 miles an hour. Now, it does look like the lions may be sleeping inside of their cave, folks. But if you do have a chance, if you check out a nighttime safari, once it's time for them to wake up, they're usually a lot more active at night, so I highly suggest checking that out. If you take a look out here to your left-hand side, folks, you will see some lovely warthogs. Now, folks, warthogs are burrowing creatures. That is where those lovely tusks do come in handy, and one of my favorite Disney characters is also a warthog. Do you have any guesses on who that could be? Pumbaa, that is correct. Now, if you take a look up here to your right-hand side, there's a beautiful white rhino. Now, as you can see, folks, the white rhinos are not white in color. They do get their name from a mispronunciation of the Afrikaans word "wyd," which means wide. That is in reference to the very wide rectangular mouths, which are significantly wider than that of the black rhino cousin, who has a pointed triangular-shaped mouth. Now, folks, if you take a look up underneath this tree where those ostriches are standing, you will also see a nest. Now, that is a nest of ostrich eggs. Now, those eggs can weigh up to 3 pounds each, and they are strong enough to withstand the weight of a human standing on top of them without cracking. However, I would avoid any ostrich eggs if found in the wild, as Mama's probably close by and she's very territorial. And folks, like I mentioned before, she can run up to 35 miles an hour, so I don't know about you, but she can definitely outrun me and my truck, so not a race I would try to win. Now, folks, the scimitar horned oryx is named after the Middle Eastern sword, the scimitar, which has a curved shape to its blade, much like these lovely horns. And those birds back there, those are the yellow-billed storks. Now, folks, the yellow-billed storks have a wingspan of about 5 feet across, and they are carnivorous birds. They do like to go fishing, and they will eat small lizards and frogs and things like that. Very tasty. All right, now, folks, I am going to start heading back towards civilization and the African village. It has been 2 weeks, folks, so I know you all miss your families, so we'll get you back to them. But we did get to see quite a few beautiful animals here on the reserve, folks. Did you have any favorites that you got to see?
This one.
Very good, excellent. I'm very fond of the bongos that we saw when we first entered the reserve, folks. And the rhinos. I always have a soft spot for rhinos. Right now, folks, if we do have any wilderness explorers on board, my name is Stacy, and you're riding this Simba 1, SIMBA 1. You will need to know that to get your next badge, which will be right outside of the exit at the nearest warden's post. And that badge will be found on page 15 of the Wilderness Explorer Handbook, folks. Alright, now folks, I will be dropping you off just up ahead, so make sure to gather up all of your belongings. Make sure to check your pockets as well, as some things may have shifted or fallen out of your pockets, since it is a little bit of a bumpy ride. So make sure you have everything, folks. Alright, but folks, here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. That's a little too final. We like to say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So, Kwaherini, my friends, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the beautiful animals here on the reserve and learning a little bit about them today as well.
Oh! Thank you. On the truck on the right-hand side, those doors are opening.
Alright, Kwaherini, everyone, watch your step. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Too hot for them poor lions.
Too hot for about everything.